Hey guys, Scott Adams here again. So another thing that comes up a lot in discussions around chargebacks and alerts and disputes are descriptors. So sometimes people don't know what these are, other times they do. Sometimes you see in different documentation terms like soft descriptor or programming descriptor. You also see things like DBA or just a legal business name. A lot of this stuff seems pretty self-explanatory, but it gets confusing, especially since these things in a lot of ways mean the same thing, but it depends on the paperwork and how you get set up. So first, when you talk about alerts for chargebacks or disputes, the main ones, right, are Verifi, CDRN, and Ethoca alerts. Now, these, unlike RDR, are driven by descriptors, meaning that it's just basically like a match, right? You type in your descriptor, which is, supposedly it's what shows up on your credit card statement. And this is what's matched upon. So if whenever you set up, in an alert system, you set up one descriptor, that's what it's going to match on. So if your descriptor is different, you're not going to get your alerts, or you get somebody else's even. So you have to be careful with that. Now, if you're setting these things up, and maybe you want to adjust your descriptor, when you set up a new merchant account or work with your current one, you need to look at a couple of things. So one, depending on your merchant account, oftentimes what your descriptor is what they call your DBA. And your DBA is, doing business as. Now, if you don't specify this, your DBA will be your legal business name. So, like I can tell you, like I have an LLC that I've had for 15 years that's 9 to 5 LLC. Yet, you know me as Fraud Deflect. So if I used that account and just went out and got a merchant account, that would probably be my DBA, and you would have no idea why that company, who you've never heard of, is billing you. This happens a lot. So think about that whenever it's okay to have an LLC or corporation that the name has nothing to do with your business. Just make sure that in the paperwork and specify and even ask the question, what will my descriptor be, or how can I set it? And then set that descriptor as what your what your consumer would know. That's what will show up on the credit card statement. Now, other terms that pop up, though, would be things like soft descriptor. So this is something that you can change sometimes at the gateway level, sometimes in a CRM. We work with CRMs like Connective or Sticky.io or one of these. Within the setup for your merchant account in the CRMs, you can often set what your descriptor will be. That's a soft descriptor. Now, some merchant accounts won't allow you to do this. If that's the case, then if you want to change it, you need to contact your merchant account provider, and they can provide you with a form that lets you change your DBA, which will be your descriptor. And there's other ways to do that too. A soft descriptor can be really good though, because that way you've one merchant account, but you can put what product you sold, especially if it's a single product you sell per transaction. That way, that's what shows up on the credit card statement to the consumer. Now, the other things that come up around this, though, are problems with matching. You're not getting the alerts you think you should get. Remember that this system is not new, right? All these credit card systems are antiquated in a lot of ways. And so, generally the rule is up to 18 characters, or, often you hear 22. I actually like to say 18 because some systems won't take more than 18. Many will, but some won't. Additionally, they get mangled just because, remember, again, it's going from your system to maybe a CRM to maybe another gateway to your acquirer, or maybe even to your ISO first, then up to Visa or MasterCard, then it has to go to your issuer, then it goes all the way back. And so as it flows through these systems, things get messed up. So if you look really closely, you'll see that oftentimes it's your descriptor, but maybe it's cut off. Maybe it's only the first 15 characters. But then it also might have your contact number, your support number. It might have the address. And so all of these things have to be considered when you're optimizing and trying to figure out how to get these tools to work right. So think about that. Think about what your descriptor is. Great way to check it. Place an order on your website and see what shows up on your credit card. all you really know though with that is that that's a descriptor that shows up for your specific credit card brand. And that even could be down to that specific type of credit card at that bank. So there's a ton of variables here, but this is kind of how descriptors work and things you can do and how to think about them, especially when you're talking about alerts. And make sure to remember, RDR does not use descriptors. It's been in Cade's. We can talk about that another day. So hope this helps. Thanks a lot.